Some people claim that Islam forbids Muslims from being friends with non-Muslims, citing verses like Qur'an 328 and 551. But is that really what these verses mean? Let's take a closer look at what the Qur'an actually says and how scholars have explained it. In Surah Al-Imran 328, Allah says, "Let not the believers take the disbelievers for friends rather than believers, and whoever does this shall have nothing of the guardianship of Allah, unless you guard yourselves against them, guarding carefully, and Allah makes you cautious of Himself, and to Allah is the eventual coming." And in Surah Al-Ma'idah 551, Allah says, "O you who believe, do not take the Jews and the Christians for friends. They are friends of each other, and whoever among you takes them for a friend is surely one of them. Surely Allah does not guide the unjust people." At first glance, these verses sound like they forbid Muslims from having friendships with non-Muslims. But when we look at the Arabic word used, Awliya, the meaning becomes much clearer. The Arabic word Awliya is often mistranslated as friends. However, the more accurate meaning is protectors, allies, or guardians. So the verse is not about ordinary friendship or daily social interaction. It refers to political and spiritual alliance, situations where a believer's loyalty or safety is tied to those who oppose Islam or could harm the Muslim community. According to Ibn Kathir's Tafsir, Allah forbids believers from supporting or allying themselves with disbelievers over fellow Muslims. Such actions would show a lack of loyalty to the community and could lead to harm or deviation from faith. These verses were revealed in a time when Muslims were under threat, when alliances determined survival. The message was to protect the unity and safety of the Muslim community. Normal friendships with non-Muslims are permissible in Islam. Muslims are encouraged to treat everyone, regardless of faith, with justice, kindness, and respect. The prohibition only applies to forming deep alliances or relationships that compromise one's faith or reveal sensitive matters about the Muslim community. If a friendship strengthens good character, promotes understanding, or has a positive influence, it is encouraged. But if a friendship starts influencing a Muslim away from their religion or principles, it should be reconsidered. As Ibn Kathir and other scholars mention, this is about influence and loyalty, not about basic human interaction. In today's world, this means Muslims should maintain good relations with everyone, colleagues, classmates, and neighbors, while keeping their loyalty to their faith and their community. During times of war or conflict, these verses remind Muslims not to side with groups or powers that are hostile to Islam. The command is about protection and unity, not isolation or hatred. The phrase, "guard yourselves against them," means to be cautious, to ensure that your friendships, alliances, or influence never lead you to compromise your faith. In conclusion, the Quran does not prohibit friendship with non-Muslims. What it forbids is taking enemies of Islam as protectors or allies over believers. Muslims are told to prioritize loyalty to their community and faith while still showing kindness, fairness, and good manners to all people. As the Quran and the Tafsir make clear, justice and compassion toward non-Muslims are encouraged. But blind alliance or influence that weakens one's faith is not. True friendship in Islam is measured by sincerity, respect, and the protection of one's belief. If you found this helpful, share it so others can understand the real meaning of these verses. Islam teaches loyalty, respect, and justice, not isolation or hatred.